Good morning, church. Welcome to this week's Reset for Life. For those of you who have kids, you know what it's like to give them instruction or to tell them not to do something because you know it will lead to trouble. Yet, they will do the same thing you tell them not to do. I remember when my kids were younger. We have a driveway that can fit 2 cars side by side. However, in between the 2 cars, it's very narrow. So, we have to watch how we open the car doors so they don't hit each other. We also have to be careful how we take things out of the garage, because if we do things like that, it could scratch the cars, kind of like taking out bikes. So we tell our kids, don't ride your bikes out of the garage. Walk them out so they don't scratch the car. We have told them this often. One day, my oldest son decided to ride his bike out of the garage. And guess what happened? He scratched the car. Needless to say, I was not happy. I was upset because we have told them multiple times not to do that, yet he did it anyways. So of course, he had to have some form of discipline. Even though we disciplined him, we still loved him and cared for him. We would still be willing to die for our children or do whatever we could do to help them. Just because they disobey or made us upset doesn't mean we won't ever fight for them. We will always be in their corner. We will always love them. We will always fight for them. In today's scripture, we look at the book of Hosea. Hosea is a prophet, and he is tasked with telling the people of Israel and Judah that they have screwed up. They keep disobeying what the Lord has commanded and have put their focus on other things. God uses some crazy ways to explain this to them in this book. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll just have to read the book for yourself. He reveals to them that they will be punished. In fact, one of the kingdoms, Israel, will come to an end, but the other kingdom, Judah, will survive. He explains to them that because of their disobedience, other countries will come and conquer them. In Hosea 1:7, he says this about Judah: "Yet I will love and show you love to the house of Judah, and I will save them, not by the bow or sword or battle, or by horses or horsemen, but by the Lord their God." Even in the midst of disciplining Israel and Judah, he reminds Judah that he still loves them, and that in fact he will save them. And not just save them, but he will do it supernaturally. He is not going to save them by the means that he used to use, like people or things, but he will save them himself supernaturally. We fail all the time. A lot of the time, we are no different than our kids. God tells us to do something or not to do something, and we don't listen. We do our own thing. God could get angry, and he has every right to, but instead, he loves us. He shows us some forms of discipline, but he always has our backs. He always fights for us, and he will always deliver us. This shows us how great, merciful, compassionate God really is. This shows us how much he desires to have a relationship with us, and that even when we disobey him, he is calling us to a deeper relationship with him. That's something we should be really grateful about. Church, that was this week's Reset for Life. I hope you have a great morning.